I'm Amy Shannon, and you may know me by Amy's Bookshelf Reviews and Podcast, or just my Amy's Bookshelf Review podcast, or an author, an editor, or just a huge supporter of authors, indie and others, those of all experiences. Um, I've been wanting to put together some videos that will show people how to do some things for themselves, little tricks that I've learned in my process of publishing. Um, I do help some authors publish their book either through KDP or Ingram Sparks. Um, and I will have videos to show how to actually publish those books through those two different sites. Um, but first, I already did a video on how to format your digital book for, or your manuscript for a digital book. And now it's time to, I'm taking the digital book and excuse me, this is a group of my short stories, all revolving around the same two people. Now, when you are creating a template, basically you're going to format your digital book, but it's going to be formatted for your print book. Print books and paperback books and hardcover books, the interior is the same. The only real difference is how the size of the covers because of the material that they use for paperback and hardcover. So hardcover is a little bit more thicker, so the book is a little more I'd say it has more width than a paperback book would. Um, Paperback and hardcover are still very popular, and I recommend that unless you're just doing a whole bunch of short stories, um, you think about putting your book in both paperback and hardcover. Using KDP or Ingram Sparks, it doesn't cost you anything extra to create one of those books. Um, the price might be higher depending on which program you're going to use, but we will get into that after. First thing, we have I have my digital version in Word. Excuse me. I have my digital version in Word, and now it is time to create a print book out of it. So for my short stories, I use 5x8 as a standard for my short stories. For my longer novels, I use 6x9. And since this is a group of short stories and it even has a play at the end of it, I am going to go and make this document 5x8. So in Word, I go to layout and you can change each of these individually, but then I go to page setup. Wherever it opens, I go to margins first. Now, I am using standard headings and footers. For my print document, I don't really like putting my name and the book cover, the book title's name in the heading, but you can do that if you wish to. And I can do another video later about actually how to do that, but I will kind of explain it. So the gutter and left, and when you have a print book, you want to do a mirror margins because you want to be able, when you have the crease in the book, when it opens, that your inner text does not like blend into the crease of the book and you don't read it. Then my next step is to go through paper and then I'm going to customize it. And all I have to do is change the height and weight. And then always make sure this says whole document. And Then I go to layout. I want a different first page. If you are going to put your, say you wanted your pages to start at the first chapter. Some authors do that. I don't really care where my page numbers are. Then you would do also different odd and even pages. And then you would have it start at either an odd or an even page. If you wanted to have your name and the book title in the header, then you would also select this as well. I don't need that stuff. This is a short story, and now I'm going to hit OK, and it kind of put everything together. In a print book, one thing you should know, and I find this as sometimes this happens, I kind of, it doesn't react to well for when you're doing print hyperlinks. So I go in, I keep the information there, but like for this one, I always have a QR code for my website. So there's that. Now, we're going to go back to the beginning. And now that we have a front page, and we're going to make sure that heading and these headings are, even though they're set for normal, that we don't want these to have an indentation. And I just go down and eye it about 6 spaces down. And then we go back to where normal text is. And you will probably already have that set up however you want it. But now that this is a print book, we want to have it justified. So it's, flat here. This book will have a paperback ISBN. And when we get to the publishing process, you will see that. So there's this trick that I learned, kind of figured it out on my own after I asked for help, because I got help and it didn't give me the correct answer. Now, this book is just separated by stories and the story titles. But this is something you can do if you have a print book, you want your chapter titles or your headings. And this one, let me just double check. This heading is 3. So I want to go in here and I'm going to take out the page break before. Yeah, because we had set that up prior. So now we have that. So we're not going to worry about it giving us a page break when we want to add a space. So you enter down 1, and then you go to the space above it, and you go to create a style, and I'm going to call this chapter heading. Sometimes this will be, you can save this into like your normal document and it will show up other times. I've had situations where I've had to create this each time I'm doing a print book. So I have the chapter heading, and then I'm going to go to modify, and I want a big space. So I'm going to go all the way to 72, and then I'm going to go to down here where it says only in document. I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to say automatically update. And then I'm going to go to paragraph under the format, and I'm going to click page break before. And then I want to double check, make sure there's no heading here. There's no indentation, there's no spaces. Everything looks good. So now we have a space. Now you can make the space bigger if you wish to. So every time you come to a heading where you want there to be a space, like say for here, this is a new story. So I enter down once, And then I click on that, the chapter heading. And even though it goes up to 72, you can actually type in and make it bigger if you wanted to see it. And you can make adjustments as necessary. So we come to the next one, and then we do that. And there we go. We have a big space. Now I don't do this for my books, but here I have to fix because I don't want these to be spaced like that. So I want to fix where those scenes are. And that is what I'm going to do. I am going to fix how these are. And I am just adjusting that. And it takes a few minutes, you know. Some of these are good. And you just want to make sure that these scenes, and this is more for, aesthetics and how it looks, because it's in a book that you're reading. It's not necessarily going to be a play. I want to check various areas to make sure that this is exactly how I want it. So it doesn't look so squished at the side. So I just fix that. And I'll fix it more as I go through. Um, Also, you get to the end, and then character profiles, here we go. And then we have all that information and all the books. So then the next step I need to do is I need to put page numbers in there. So I'm going to insert page number, and I like mine at the bottom of the page. And once I have that done, I have all the page numbers, and I double check because sometimes it doesn't want to put it on one or the other. And this is one that should be on this page. So now that we save it, and we're going to save it as a print book. I'm changing the name to print. And then now that it is a print book, I have my Word has a Adobe add-in. So I will be using that. If you don't have an add-in, if you go to File and then Export, you can automatically export a document into a PDF. So because Ingram Sparks uses PDFs for its print books to upload, I'm creating a PDF file. You always make sure you know that it's going to the correct folder. And if you use the add-in for Acrobat Adobe, once it is finished, its processing, it will actually pop up with, just like that, the Adobe folder file. So you can always go through it and double check and make sure it looks like the way it's supposed to. And then I close it out, and then I leave this part open, because when we go in and publish it, we're going to grab a free ISBN. So that is how to process your document for a print book. And like I said, paperback or hardcover. And you also have the option of not just getting your ISBN number, but you can do an LCCN number, which is Library of Congress, and that is up to you. This information is my boilerplate that I use depending on if it's a fiction or a nonfiction book, and it will change. But it is always a good idea. Once you have it marked as copyright, it is copyrighted. Anything in your work is copyrighted once it's on print. And, this is just an extra precaution. If you don't know where to get the copyright symbol in Word, you can go to Insert and then find symbol, and then you would find it. If it's not here, it would be in More Symbols. I like symbols. So that is that book, and I'm going to start the next video and show you how to publish these things.